friends, and welcome to the CUInsight Network. My name is Robbie Young, and I am the Vice President of Strategic Growth here at CUInsight. It's my job on this show to have conversations with thought leaders who support the credit union community. We'll identify issues affecting credit unions and discuss best practices that help us learn from one another and strengthen the future of credit unions. My guest on today's show is James Bishop, founder of ClaimStinger. James, thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited to be here and talk to you, Robbie.
So most of us didn't grow up thinking that we would get to work with credit unions. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Well, I grew up a little kid in Southern Colorado, and I was a cowboy. And I got to experience a lot of fun stuff as a kid I have an uncle at Platoro Lodge in Southern Colorado, and I got to get to play on a dude ranch for a lot of months in the summers in Colorado. So I didn't want to become a cowboy. I kind of just became one.
Well, I too wanted to be a cowboy most of my life and really love the fashion, especially. So I'm pretty disappointed that I didn't actually become said cowboy, but I guess maybe there's still time for me. Maybe,
Yeah, it's a good look. It's fun. Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about your journey to becoming the founder of ClaimStinger?
Yes, I started out as a paintless dent repair technician, which is fixing minor dents and door dings and hail damage in cars when I was 19 in 1991. So it was a long time ago. And I slowly evolved into traveling around the country and working for people who get damage on their cars, and mostly it was hail damage. I would move around through different networks to work doing repairs, and we ended up with our shop that we have now in the paintless dent repair industry. But the cool thing about what happened in my journey is that I was noticing in handling claims for damaged cars that we needed to come up with a way for our clients to understand the insurance process and claims, because none of us want to think about claims coming up, because it's always when we get smacked in a little accident or hail damage comes out of nowhere on a vehicle that people aren't prepared for the insurance claims process. So I started evolving into a software designer, and I started building software to help my clients just on my own to get people in a better path for how they can protect the assets on their vehicles, because people are just getting killed in the insurance industry with how estimates are written and how claims processes happen.
You know, I was thinking about you the other day because I was in a little fender bender.
Oh,
and okay? Everyone's fine, but you were the first person to come to mind. I was like, I know why James does this.
Yes.
So could you tell me more about ClaimStinger and where they add value to credit unions?
Well, it's my own credit union journey. Started as an entrepreneur very young in a small credit union that really helped me out immensely. So I have a lot of love in my heart for the credit unions. But being a member in a situation where I'm dealing with people who get in fender benders, just like you just had this happen, it's really important that people have some education in this whole system, because unfortunately, in the credit union industry, it kind of ends up being that even when you're making payments on a nice car that you have, and when an accident happens, so many credit union members end up in a place where they feel kind of pushed out into the cold when a claim happens, because they're like, okay, I'm the credit union, but it's time for you to go talk to insurance adjusters now. And it creates a pretty scary place to be by yourself when you have damage on your car, and it may need to get fixed sooner than later. And it creates a whole bunch of questions that people really quickly get forced into.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Where do you see the biggest documentation gaps in insurance claim process today? And how do those gaps ultimately impact credit unions and their loan portfolios?
This is definitely what is my passion and what my goal is for ClaimStinger, because when you think about it, when the internet boom happened and insurance companies were selling insurance at a way higher rate, when you think about it, when is the last time anyone, when you buy a car or get a loan generated for a car, when is the last time that anyone asked you for photographic proof of your asset? No one is doing that anymore. And it's something that I've noticed in my business, and what kind of brought up my thought process and how, as a founder, and what I'm trying to be as a thought leader, is to say, hey, nobody's documenting anything the way they used to. They're not taking the photographs proactively in the situation of an asset. So I have found a way that through the credit unions, this will impact so many portfolios and loan to values based on customers not having the right tools to navigate a claim. If a credit union, in my opinion, as a credit union member myself, is something that I want all of the members moving forward, and as a helpful learning process through our LMS, that we can give a nice little education piece to credit unions to tell them these are some of the things to know in the process to help keep the loan to values, to the portfolios to be protected, because people are getting the equity drained right out of their assets and they don't even know what's happening.
So you've seen people lose thousands simply because they couldn't properly document their claim. Yes. How does accurate timestamp documentation change outcomes for members and ultimately protect the credit union's collateral at the same time?
Well, it's a really simple idea that I put forward with the software that I have. I have 6 software suites. Basically, the first one that I'll tell you about is the birth date of any loan that is generated. Basically, a vehicle condition report that time date stamps a loan that's generated for a vehicle, 4 corner shots, odometer, the VIN number, all of that information, and the full condition of the vehicle with those photos. It keeps that asset protected. And when it's protected, if there is a little collision like you just had, it makes the whole process go way quicker. Because let's just say you, Robbie, that you bought, say, a slightly used car instead of a brand new one. And that's a smart financial decision. But in that slightly used car, and you got in a little bit of an accident, I am seeing the highest rates in my life for the last 3 years. The insurance companies are denying claims based on no photographic documentation of the condition of the vehicle. And it can be a nightmare, and people can literally lose $10,000 easily on damage that they can't prove in a claim situation.
Yeah, that makes so much sense to be able to just walk members through that. With the launch of the white label ClaimStinger reports for credit unions, why do you see this as a game changer for empowering members while ensuring long-term asset protection?
Well, it's what I just mentioned just a moment ago, was that so many members and all of us in the credit union industry are watching member numbers slip. People get themselves in a pickle in a claim situation, and they feel mad at the credit union because basically the insurance company did them dirty. I have so many clients that I personally deal with in my auto repair shop that customers come to me almost weekly, that they come into my shop and they say, hey, I've got this insurance claim check from this little fender bender that I had, and I know it's not enough, but we've been hanging on to this check for like 12, 14 months, and we haven't done anything because we don't know what to do. And they're driving around with an asset that's devalued, it's ugly, and no one is taking the time to educate. The LMS that I created is called Cover Your Assets. This Cover Your Assets LMS that I have is a 21 video training system that can basically teach all of the credit union member employees so that they can learn and come up to speed on current insurance processes for claims. And the biggest one for me is when you look at the situation with the amount of the damage and basically how people look at that, they get scared and they don't want to turn in a claim. And the credit union's in a situation where they're losing instantly and they don't even know what's happening.
So as we look to the future, what's ClaimStinger's focus on the road ahead?
Well, my road ahead is definitely getting the word out to credit unions and bringing this process into this easy to use plug and play software system that can be integrated literally within 4 to 6 weeks for any credit union, which is just lightning fast compared to a lot of fintech companies. And it's something that we see that not only the software, but the education piece is close to my heart, because I want to empower credit unions. I want to empower the employees to know things proactively that is going to answer questions for so many members. The situation gets put on their shoulders when a small fender bender happens, because we don't ever want that to happen. But just like you just experienced, it's something that needs to be top of mind when you have something come in and you walk into your credit union and say, this is the situation, or our system proactively does scrape the information so that we can use our system to plug and play the situation so that any claims that are initiated are going to be geofenced and it's going to be tracked so that a credit union can reach out to members and say, hey, how can we help with this process to teach you how to know what a deductible value is or when you should initiate a claim, because deductibles are raising exponentially quickly. And that's another reason that we need to protect our members. And we can look at our member employees and credit unions as superheroes and turn them into that, which is so exciting to me.
There's never a time that I don't want us to be more of superheroes than we already are.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
So to wrap up the show, we like to have some fun with some rapid fire questions for our listeners to really get to know you better.
Uh-huh.
The questions are rapid, but your answers certainly don't have to be. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is someone in your life that was a great leader, and what makes them great?
That has to be my grandma. Growing up, I had this amazing woman. My grandma, her name was Oma Ringel. And Oma is the German word for grandmother. And I was super duper lucky to have that woman in my life because she taught me so much. And I so appreciate her. And she was my mentor.
Well, shout out to Oma, because you don't get very many grandmas on here. But I also feel the same about my Nana.
Oh, yes. It is a beautiful thing.
It's an interesting, especially during that time, to see strong women that, you know, you looked up to as leaders. If you're going to splurge on something and you want to treat yourself, what's one thing that you might invest in a bit?
Well, I have grandsons that are coming into my life. I've got a 2-year-old and I've got another on the way, and I am investing in travel. I am really excited about going to the Smithsonian for a second time and exploring that. My goal is to invest in time with my family. That is something that you can never get back. And there's been just the last few years getting to experience with my sons and my daughter-in-laws to be able to experience and have the memories are just so extremely valuable to me. That's what I'm investing in.
Okay, so that leads me into my next question. If you're gonna travel, what city are you most excited to visit?
I am going to a retreat in Austin in the last part of March. and I've never been to Austin, Texas, and it looks pretty cool. But, that Smithsonian thing, I love museums and I love history. And that's my other place that I want to go to.
Well, I have been to Austin before, and I can say that it is very fun. The food is really good. I know that the bats fly out from underneath the bridge, and that's really cool to see.
Oh, wow.
And that's like a big thing there. I'm not like a Austin connoisseur, but that is a big thing there. I'm sure when people hear this, they'll be like, this silly girl, like she shouldn't. But I do know that's one of the big things that people like take time out of their day to go see when they're there.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing that. That sounds cool.
Can you share with us one book that you think everyone should read?
The crazy thing about me is I really like to read science fiction stuff, which is kind of an interesting thing about me. But currently, I am reading a book that my middle son gave me by Alan Watts about the Zen, which is pretty interesting. So I don't know that I would say I have like a real this is the book you need to read, because I've networked and I worked for a lot of time in different places in the country. People have such different tastes that I'm not sure what that book would be actually. But yeah, I don't know.
I like that answer. It's a very honest answer. I think a lot of people, when they're on the podcast, they think they have to name some kind of profound leadership book. And I think the reality is that it's totally fine if you just want to read for pleasure and because that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and there's so many business books that I put enough time as a founder and a business owner that, man, I really want to just lose myself in some stuff more than I want to impress anyone with some title of a book.
I like it. So What's your best hack for creating balance and integration between your work life and your life?
Well, I'm super duper lucky that I live in the mountains in Colorado. So I have a place that is on the backside of Pikes Peak. I hike a lot. I love to fish. I get to hang out with my sons and play. My grandson's, he's only 2 right now, but man, he loves to be out in the dirt. And I think this is what this other kid, Oliver is his name. He's going to play in the dirt a lot too, because that's what we do, is we like to play and fish and hike and ride on motorcycles and side-by-sides through the trails. And it's been a crazy, amazing winter for us because it's beautiful. It's beautiful way more than we have snow right now, which makes me get to experience a lot more just fun times, which is how I want to split the other times, because I do take my work very seriously. And I'm very, very excited about being able to help the masses for credit unions, because the helping people mantra, people helping people, is something that is so dear to my heart, because I grew up in a community that we didn't have a whole lot, but we cared a lot about what we had. And I think that's where ClaimStinger comes from for me, is that you make the best of what you've got and you document it and you protect people. It can make a humongous difference in families that might be struggling right now.
I love that. I also love the emphasis on playing in the dirt. And I would be, if you're open to it, I'll send my daughters out to you all to play in the dirt too, because they would really appreciate that.
Oh, we have so much fun, Robbie.
I will send my husband too, because you said the motorcycle part of things, and that's right up his alley. So it looks like it's just a whole family trip.
Yes, come on down. Come to the Pikes Peak Race to the Hilltop. I know your husband likes race cars.
He does, and I know it by default.
Yes.
So we'll be sure to link to everything we talked about today in the show notes. But my last question for you is, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share or ask of our listeners?
Yes, I've been excited about being able to do this podcast with you guys. And ever since I joined the CUInsight family and have partnered with this fine company, which is amazing, the credit union industry is such a beautiful thing. And I really am excited in exploring more opportunities for all of us, because I think some of the things that my life has brought me in a path and an alignment in a way that we can make a difference. We can make a difference in a different way by looking at maybe it's not just fees as much as it always has been, or processing, or the loan situation. Credit unions have the power to kind of enforce some new ideas into the process for members to be able to be protected with what we all work so hard for assets, for our homes, for our cars, for the things that are for us to build wealth and to keep our family safe and keep our kids warm and fed. And I think if we all made a definite effort to make those type of things important in how we do things with asset protection, I think it's going to be an amazing horizon, and it's going to be an awesome journey.
Well, thank you again so much, James, for being on the show. Stay well, and thanks to all of our listeners today for tuning in to the CUInsight Network. We'll be back again next time.
Thanks, Robbie.